Okay. Hopefully the audio works here, but what's up, friends? What we have is Ethereum. There's been a lot of talk going on with a dump or whatever it is and all that stuff. And basically these lines that we see here, they were built yesterday, built basically live yesterday off of a higher time frame. Talked about supports and resistance, and we talked about the levels, and we talked about the golden pocket, and we talked about all-time highs, and we talked about support. And where we're at right now is basically the action that has been going on with Ethereum today. So it feels like a dump, just like yesterday when we talked about it feels like a dump. There's just a lot of volatility right now from the previous dump where we lost. We'll just go from here. We're lost 40%, ended up bouncing and getting back up quite a lot. Hang on, that doesn't even make sense, does it? Hang on. That doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. So you can see here, we tried to find support here. We tried to find support here, lost support, lost support. We even lost the support here. But yesterday, I think yesterday was the 20th, right? Yeah, so yesterday there was all this talk about a dump. This is not a dump. Today there is talk about a dump. This is not a dump. What it is and what I would consider it is just basically testing the levels. The market is testing the levels. The way that we're looking at it here is if this is a significant level, this 0.236, if this level is significant, and it has been significant historically, there's always going to be, or not always, but sometimes there's going to be a test of that level. And there was a test there of that level. It dipped below there because you could see it was supported here previously. So working on its way down, kind of in nowhere, tries to work its way back up. It's not getting there. Works its way back down. And what we have is a clear support at this point, tries to work itself back up, and then obviously falls through. Heavy order block. And now we're trying to find support at this 0.236. Now I posted this on the Discord, but there is also something else going on here that is to be considered. There's a lot of volume. So you can see that, red and green volume doesn't necessarily matter. Sometimes it does, but volume is volume, right? So what we have is at this point, there really wasn't much volume. You can see that there just wasn't much volume. It's just kind of riding its way up, kind of just riding its way up slowly with not an incredible amount of volume. You're going to find on all of these charts that I do for these particular segments for, I call it 5-5 VeeFriends. All of these charts, I am only going to chart them as I stream these. I'm not going to mess with the levels. These levels were built yesterday, and we're just going to build on top of it and just kind of follow along. But what I would say is going on right now is, yeah, we're trying to validate this region, the 0.236, as an area of support. Now, there's other tools that we can get involved in, and I'm going to introduce one right now, and that would be pivots. So I'm going to have to fix this chart a little bit. Oh, wow, there's too many. This is going to be boring. The way that I like to do this is I like to look at, oh, that's because we're on a 5 minute. We're going to go on a 5 minute. I like to look at these pivots as well. Now, S, you're going to call that support. R, you're going to call that resistance. So you can see here, and these are automatically done. I don't have to do any of the writings or anything like that, but it all runs off of Fibonacci as well. And throughout history, you can see that there's confluence here. So what we have is the pivot, and again, the best way that I could explain this is that these pivots, they're going to be based on the day, and it's also going to be based on the time frame. You can see that this is a significant, this pivot today is a significant region because we're bouncing off of it, bouncing off of it, bouncing off of it, and then obviously we fell through. We didn't necessarily hit the S1 on the 5 minute. Maybe we hit it on an hour chart. Let me see. So you can see here on an hour chart, it's going to look different. Again, it's because we're messing around in different time frames. But you can see in this hour chart, we've basically been touching this S3, trying to find support here, touching it again, trying to find support here, breaking through. Now, we didn't even break through all the way down. So what that can give us is that'll give us actually a little bit more info. Hang on, let me see. I'm going to try to do my best to make this like actually visible. I'm going to get rid of this. So even for super, super basics, just kind of looking at this, if this is basically the day, and you have to understand too, crypto, the crypto day starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's just how it works. So you can see here, it says May 16th, this pivot being drawn on an hourly is going to go back a little bit. If we do it on a 5 minute, you can see that we're starting. Geez, I can't even see this again. You can see that we're starting from yesterday. All right, let's take a look at a couple of the other things. If you have questions, by all means, let me know. I mean, I don't really know what people want to see or what people have questions on. But again, just a reminder, all of these that were drawn yesterday, anything that I draw in these charts, particularly for this 5555 VeeFriends or 5555 on this chart, I'm going to do it in real time through this stream. Take a look at Bitcoin here. We're looking at kind of the same exact thing, the same actions, the same activities. I think we talked about here that this is a significant line, a significant diagonal for resistance, current resistance. And you can see we really haven't tapped it. Last time we went and played around in that area was the 16th, but we're not necessarily getting up to that, but it's just something to be aware of. And you can see where we're playing on supports. We're just, all these charts, we're just trying to find supports is really what's going on. And it looks like Ethereum, I'm on a 4 hour. So let's take a look at them on a 5 minute in this time frame. I'll actually see if I can open this up. You can see again, we're playing on this pivot, broke through. This 0.236 on the Bitcoin chart has become a significant level of resistance. You can see a big order block right here. There's a lot of activity. A lot of the things that people don't necessarily think about is volume. So you always have to consider volume. I mean, you're looking at a 5 minute chart. You can see that there was a lot of volume today, and that volume was down pressure. So there was a lot of down pressure, and then you can see that there's a buy block here, right? Didn't necessarily hit this S1. I'm going to get rid of these pivots. Didn't necessarily get rid of this S1. Let's take a look at ADA. ADA, very interesting stuff going on here. Again, we're on a 5 minute. We talked about the golden pocket. There's going to be a lot of activity there. There's going to be a lot of decision making there. It looks like we've tested it, and finding it as support. The next level of resistance is going to be at this 0.5. If I take this line, let's see what this looks like. This was built yesterday. Let's see. This was built yesterday off of this. If we take this line and extend it, you can kind of see that as support. Now we're just kind of playing in this range. I don't know what is going to happen. You have to kind of think it through for yourself. But you can see how these lines and this charting it has a little bit of significance, and it helps clear out a lot of the noise. So we'll leave that. I'm going to actually remove that extension. I would say that's fairly accurate. I would say that's fairly accurate. So again, we're just trying to get over, it looks like we're trying to get over this line. And you can see, working at it. Here's Matic. You can see it plays almost perfectly to these levels. Now, I had made a, actually, we got a couple of requests. I think one of them was Litecoin. I'm going to take a look at it. I like to use what I believe is going to have the highest amount of volume. On this one here, I don't know if it would be Coinbase or any of these, but I like to use Binance. Binance is a large exchange. We'll take this to a 4-hour. We'll reset, and we're going to look for significant areas here. I would say, and this isn't really going to be perfect. You know what we'll do? We're going to go left to right. We're going to go backwards. So since we're really in a downtrend here, I'm going to take this fib. Oh boy. You know what? Okay, we're going to take this fib and we'll take it from here, from tip to tip. Nothing really more than from top to the bottom. And you can see we have this diagonal that's built from there because I chose to actually take this. And again, I don't want to get too crazy or too weird with it, but you can see if you look at this diagonal, and I'll try to keep it from tip to tip, you can see how there's action on it. You can see how there's action where it's basically support on the way down. And then now right here, it's going to end up acting as resistance on the way up. But first and foremost is it's going to be these levels. So what we'll do is we'll take a closer look. All right. So you can see, again, support, resistance. %. So back in blue, we had a significant drop off, 20%. It rode right here. And then on the way back up, support you find, resistance you find, breakthrough, golden pocket, breaks through, resistance, support, breaks through, breaks back through. That's the top. Let's see if I could fix that up. That's the top. This was the ride down. A lot of activity here in the golden pocket. Riding this as support as well. Breakthrough. And let's see if I can fix this up too. All right. So these are the levels. Basically, took us not that long, but these are the levels. And currently, what we're looking at is this. This has become a significant area of resistance. Throw the pivots on just for giggles. You can see it's didn't necessarily hit this S1, but there was clearly a bounce there. And we're seeing this across the board on almost every chart that we look at. Throw that on the watch list. I don't know why that has a color on it, but that's that. All right, next up, cake. Yeah, I guess so. Pivots. Let's look for, well, we're gonna have to do it the same exact way we did it last time. So fib, we'll go here, and we'll go, I think that's right. Let's see. That looks about right. So you can see here, just drawing that, you can see now we have a very, very clear area, just currently from today. If you've never looked at this ever, but you're looking at it now, currently at today, you can see that we're on a downtrend. And you can see the pretty clear areas of support and resistance. You can see where we are in this range. I would say that we're in this range here. It's a 40% range, 36% range. Oh, that's so weird how up and down it's different. I don't know why. So, oh, never mind. I don't want to get into it. So again, even on the way down here, this diagonal, which is just, it's kind of an arbitrary diagonal. This diagonal really doesn't mean much. I mean, if you wanted to get into it and fix it up and mess around and do all that stuff, a lot of the times, I only use this for reference, but you can see here where there's a clear action of resistance on the way down. And then you break through, and then it acts as a area of support on the way down, playing along on these levels. The golden pocket here, I mean, this is kind of a different one, because I mean, on the way up, the golden pocket, obviously it was a place of, and this is, look, I don't want to get too crazy, it's going to get confusing, but you can do this on the way down, it'll give you levels, and you can also do it on the way up, it'll give you levels. I'll do it on another chart. I think, what's another one people have been talking about? I don't want to really mess around too much with these charts here. Let's do it again. Throw this to the watch list. Oh. The other thing that you always want to look at is you always want to look at volume. For me, volume is volume. Sometimes I like to see the red and the green. I do a lot of charting where it's just one color. It kind of just takes away from what's going on. I mean, volume is volume here, right? You can see that we have a lot of volume, which indicates to me that there is a lot of support at these levels. And we're just trying to figure out where we're going here. I would say just someone that's looking to buy, this is the historical chart for cake. And these things are things to consider. If you believe it's going to the moon, there's a good way to make a decision here. If you think that it's going to go to zero, there's a good way to make a decision here as well. But again, just a simple Fibonacci and just understanding it, it's going to give you a lot of stuff. Because I mean, really what we see a lot in the crypto space or whatever is someone's going to put a line over here. Actually, let's go in. What you're going to see in a lot of times in the crypto space is people trying to confirm their own biases, right? So we could do one of these and we could say, hey, listen, this thing's gonna break and it's going to go like this. Take this line and it's going to go up here. And it very well possibly will. I mean, this isn't like an ascending triangle. It's not a, pattern trading does work, but it's not like, oh, geez, I'm getting real weird over here. So it's not like, how should I do this? So it's not like an ascending triangle, because typically if you're able to build a triangle, you have to think about if it's ascending or descending. I don't do a lot of patterns. I do it once in a while just to figure out confluence for myself. But you're going to see, the reason why I'm saying this is you're going to see a lot of guys. They're going to be like, all right, we got a bull flag or something, or we've got a head and shoulders. And you have to understand, like, a lot of these patterns, whether it be a bull flag or a head and shoulders or a ascending or a descending triangle, it's going to be off of larger, longer time frames. You're not really going to be able to do it on a minute chart because you're just going to give yourself, you're going to try to confirm your own bias. The most dangerous thing, I think, if you're trying to trade or invest or whatever, I think the most dangerous thing for someone to do is to try to confirm their own bias. I think the best place to start is to try to understand what's going on and try to learn as much as you can. And I'll tell you what, right now is a good time to learn. Right now is a good time to put some thoughts into it. I'm still on a minute. So where are we right now? We're playing in this range. We're playing in this range. We're trying to find support. This is Litecoin. We're trying to find support. We're trying to figure out support and resistance. And there is a lot of volume. That's what's going on. We have a lot of volume. I mean, you can actually call this, if you were to try to make a pattern here, right? Just arbitrary pattern. You could see one here. And this would basically tell you that there's going to be more downside. But the thing about it is you have to understand this isn't necessarily a good indicator. Because, I mean, if it goes to 40, I'm picking it up. That's for sure. That's why I like to play in the fibs. I like to play in the fibs. I like to kind of figure out what's going on here in the fibs. I'm not trying to confirm biases. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm trying to find confluence over many things. One bonus. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance, there's a lot of talk of Bitcoin dominance because of basically how much does Bitcoin take up in the total market. I'm going to have to go further back. Okay. So Bitcoin was 95% of the market back in the 2015s, 16s. Now, the reason why you have this giant drop here is because this is where a lot of altcoins started popping up. So for the entire crypto market cap, it was only Bitcoin for a while, and then alt started popping in. And this is what basically Bitcoin dominance is. Bitcoin dominance is how much of the entire total crypto market cap is Bitcoin. Currently, right now, it's at 44%. Now, we can actually put a Fibonacci on this as well. What I will do is basically take it from the bottom, and we'll do kind of like a local top. And we can kind of see what is going on here at this point. Let's see. I'm going to have to drill in. So just from that simple, and look, that line is probably not perfect. I actually have this charted elsewhere, but for our activity, this works. So you can see that there was resistance. Now look, this doesn't mean anything. All this basically says is where's the dollars going, right? So if Bitcoin dominance is low, that means a lot of dollars are going into the alts. If Bitcoin dominance is high, that means a lot of the dollars are going into Bitcoin. And you can see how this actually sort of plays onto these charts as well. Now, why did this raise up from here to here? Well, when there was a lot of the dumps panicking out of the alts and throwing it into Bitcoin. Another thing to look at is total. So we'll do total market cap. Now, this is a lot more important, I think, to most people, because what this is telling you, it's going to give you information as to where is the crypto market. And just a quick fib here. I'm just going to go tip to tip. It's going to give you some information. And what we have is 2.5 is 2.5 trillion is a significant yeah, that's right. 2.5 trillion is a significant number for the total market cap of crypto. Let me see if I can get, yeah, here we go. So we tapped 2.5, and we can actually do the total alt cap as well. But recently, we're going to call it May 12th, we ended up tapping the all-time high. And then we had this downtrend. And we're sitting at an area of, I'm going to call it significant support. Oh, geez, let me get rid of the volume. It's muddy. Okay. You know what? No, I'm just going to leave it. So what we have here is, again, the entire crypto market is looking to find, in where we are right now, we're going to be looking to find this area, 1.7 trillion we're going to try to find support there. If you think this thing's going to go to the moon, what we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for getting to this level and finding it as a area of support. Currently, this is a significant area of support at this 0.786, which is about 1.5 trillion. I think that's about it. If you have a pick, if you want to see something, or if you have any questions or any of, basically anything, if you see this, if it helps you, click a like on it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. See ya. Have a good day.